Hi, Terry from 1/10 Consulting here. So I wanted to discuss tithing. I know that there's a lot of information out there on tithing. I know that there's a lot of people that think a lot of different things. I know there's people that are pro tithes, and then there's people that are against tithes. But I just wanted to kind of go over what it means to me and what it's done for us, and kind of how I see it. Basically, for me, tithing is an act of love. Tithing is an act of obedience. Tithing is a way for me to always be submitting myself to God. So that's kind of how I see it. That's kind of what I do. I feel like if it was so easy, then what's the point? You know, like it's a constant way for me to have to kind of make my flesh die and constantly be thinking about him and recognizing that he comes first. There's times that it's easy, you know, you just tithe, you give your offering, and that's it. And there are other times that you really just need to make a choice. I literally have to be like, if I do this for God and I know that I should do it, then that means that I cannot do this. And me making those choices after I do it constantly reminds me that I am putting God first. The other thing is that by tithing and by doing it, I have seen the floodgates of heaven opened. God has provided for us in so many ways, in so many miraculous ways, and we have never lacked anything. We have never lacked anything. And the times that we think we're gonna lack, and the times that we're worried that we're gonna lack, and that we look down on paper and we see how much we need versus how much we have, and then we start kind of getting a little crazy and stressing out like, oh my God, this is not enough money. God has always provided. I've always felt like he's said to me, you are being faithful in what I'm asking for you, and I am going to be faithful in completing my part of the bargain as well. And he has never, 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 never left us or forsaken us in regards to that. And I've just grown from it. I've seen how before I used to go to church and I used to hate, and I used to say to myself, oh Lord, here we go, another mission trip that they're asking for money for. Oh Lord, here we go, the pastor's asking for this for this special offering for XYZ. And I used to tell myself, oh my God, why is it always about money? Like money this, money that. Why does everything have to do with giving money? And it really used to bother me. But once I submitted and once I kind of asked God to change how I see it and how I feel about it, it really, really, really made a big difference. I started tithing, and I feel like maybe it was a little bit obligation, commitment, doing it because I knew I should, but not necessarily because I really, really wanted to. But I just felt the conviction that I should and that I had to. So in the beginning, it was a little bit hard. I remember doing the calculations and looking like, oh my God, I could be saving this money. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to give all this. I remember going through all those things and all those emotions. But as time passed, every time I felt like that, I just prayed to God. And I would just say to him, Lord, if I am seeing this incorrectly, if I am not believing you correctly, if I don't understand tithing the way you want me to understand it, then reveal it to me and put it in my heart. And little by little, the more I thought about it, the more I read about it in the Bible, the more I just did it because I should and because I wanted it to be part of me, the more God started changing my heart. And then I also realized that by me tithing, thinking that I was like letting go and like basically like I had less because I had to give more, I learned that that's actually not true. That the more you give, the more you get back. And that's something that nobody could have told me. People say it all the time. Like, you know, giving is better than receiving, and you know, you hear all these things when you go to church and how you should tithe and how you should give offerings. But hearing it sounds nice, but when you're looking down in your wallet and you're like, oh, this is how much I have to give, or this is how much I should give, the perspective is completely different. So it wasn't until I was actually doing it and living it and seeing God operate in our lives and in our marriage and in our finances and in the communication that we had with each other, it wasn't until I realized the power of tithing. Because that's another thing. The power that tithing has is not just about money. It has to do with so many other things. That act of obedience, that act of surrender opens the floodgates of heaven, but not just with finances, but with all the other things that God needs to work on in your life. So I was realizing that yes, God was providing, was backing us up, and was being faithful in regards to our finances, but he was doing a whole bunch of other things just because we were walking in this new path of tithes and offerings. So I say all this to kind of just let you know how I feel, let you know how I see it, and hopefully it's a way to encourage you that if you're kind of straddling the line, you're not knowing whether you want to or whether you don't want to, and you hear all these pluses and all these minuses just from somebody that's doing it and that maybe started doing it with not, the right ways or the intentions of the way that everybody says, kind of like, with a cheerful heart and being a cheerful giver, that at the end of it now, I have grown so much of it. It has brought me closer to God. I have learned so much, and I would never take it back. So I just wanted to share what tithing means to me and what it's done in our lives with you.